We love abortion. It's so good.
Stop.
No.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, all right. So today we're having a debate for our final grade.
About abortion.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be about abortion, and we have pro and con side. We have Anna and Corinne on con, and me and Hailey for pro.
Because abortion's good.
Yes, okay. So,
I don't actually like abortion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah, we had to pick a side. We had to split our group in half. So, we're trying not to offend anyone. We're not saying you should do something. We don't want to influence your opinion at all. We're just debating a topic that we feel strongly about. So, let's get started.
Are y'all starting or am I? Because I don't really know.
Let's start with us.
Okay, y'all go for it.
It's not an ASMR. Just speak.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so we've got our pro arguments and our pro sources. So one of our pro arguments and one of our facts is that women have died or have been injured or the consequences of getting an abortion or not getting an abortion. So like guys will threaten women that if they don't get an abortion, you know, they'll might kill them or they might hurt them. Like, you know, that I think this wasn't that long ago. They've been investigating it for a while, but this one like teenage cheerleader got killed by her boyfriend and like stabbed to death because she wouldn't get an abortion or something like that.
Mm.
And I've seen like a lot of other problems like that, and it just that's a good point that I think that we found.
Domestic violence over
Yeah.
the freaking medical treatment.
So are we going back and forth? So like it's my time now?
Yeah.
So like, I go?
Let's do it.
Okay, so innocent lives are killed. So basically the killing of like a human being that's like not even born yet, is wrong. And like even though it's not born, they're still considered humans like across like the US government or whatever. And there's like even an act and it's called the Federal Unborn Victims of Violence Act, which is like to help the babies because they aren't born yet, so they don't really get a choice. It's all depending on their mother. So yeah.
Yeah.
They're being killed.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. It's just, there's some flaws to it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
There's like a way you can go deeper into that, but like it's the base of it. It's basically
And like
what's
even
happening.
if you have the kid, there's like better options like
Yeah.
adoption.
yeah,
and,
adoption is always an option.
Like, foster.
See, the thing with that is if the mother is in danger, we feel like abortion should be an option. If, like, the mother or the baby's going to be in danger.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah, so if, like, the mother is going to be paralyzed for having the baby or the baby's going to be born paralyzed.
With like a virus or
Yeah, like a
you know,
virus or something.
or if she gives birth, you know, it could ruin an organ while she's, you know, doing that.
Yeah, it could kill
So-
her. Childbirth could kill her. And I feel like it should at least be an option. I mean, she can choose not to if that's what she believes in, but I feel like it should at least be an option.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to
She has the website on her phone.
yeah, by the way, that's why. So there is something where like fetuses can feel you know that word.
Feel?
They can feel pain during the abortion process, which is basically like there is a doctor person with a PhD, I guess, and he explained most primitive responses to pain. Oh wait, that's not the right part. Pain. Hold up, what is he saying? Okay, the most primitive response to pain, the spiral reflex. So basically, it's saying that like by 8 weeks, that is where a universal agreement has been like made that pain can be detected by the fetus.
Is pregnancy known by 8 weeks? I feel like it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it can't. You can find it out really.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
you can
been
look it up.
people before who didn't even know that they were pregnant until they had birth or they gave birth.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, you see those people on
getting
the
one.
Maury show. Okay, so one argument that we have, and we think is a pretty good argument, is that sometimes a child can be a result of incest.
Oof.
And some people are crazy enough to commit incest. And, if the child has birth defects or something, you don't want your child to grow up with having, these defects or having a club foot, or, they could be having, I want to
Like
say
in pain for the rest of their
Yes.
life because
So
of something you didn't do.
abortion could be something that could be a better, you won't have to really make the child.
Yeah.
I think y'all know what I mean.
Incest is awful, and I don't think there should be consequences to someone who didn't choose that.
Yeah, as well as rape. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like with rape, that some people who don't want to have a child that are raped, they can't get an abortion. Or, like what I said in my first point, they can't get an abortion because, the guy that raped them might not want to. Or, most of the time it is that they want to, but rape, some people don't want to keep their children after they get raped, and they're not responsible enough for it yet.
Yeah, so like a 9-year-old getting raped can get pregnant and have the child, and they'll only be 9 years older than their infant.
And it's a lot of health difficulties, especially if they're young, like 9 years old, or if they're a teenager.
They're way more at risk if they're younger and pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So their abortions can cause psychological damage. So there was like a study shown in the Journal of Public Health, and quote unquote it says young adult women who undergo abortion may be at increased risk for subsequent depression. So basically, like, even there's like a point in time where they might think that they can make that decision to get an abortion, and they think it's okay like at the time, and that's what they want to do, but then it later on causes problems and like mental health issues because they can regret that decision, and then it can come back on them to where they like decide that they probably would have rather had the baby instead of getting an abortion for it, and that just like causes a lot of problem like with the mom and like even like family members past the mom and everything.
Okay.
So another point about that is like if the laws were changed or like stayed or more strict how they are now, it wouldn't stop anyone from getting an abortion. There would still be more illegal, more dangerous options that women would choose. And I feel like it would just be safer to give a more medical procedure, safer option to get the baby out, other than harming yourself more than it would be if you just chose to do it medically when it was legal. I feel like changing the laws won't help anything. It won't change anything. It'll just make it a more dangerous practice. And that's facts. It's happened before. We've seen it in states.
Facts, though. Yeah, so.
Okay. So some like abortion. Okay, so the point is like that like certain abortions are based off of genetic abnormalities, which is basically downright discrimination. Because basically there was an act called the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, and it basically like provides like people with like the rights to protect people born with disabilities, so that way they can have their lives fulfilled and like live it how they want to live it. So basically some people are getting an abortion just because the doctor is informing them that there like could be a chance that, like, their child could have like some type of like disability or like Down syndrome or something as of like that, like on that spectrum, and basically like just with that act, it's kind of saying that it kind of goes like completely against that act, which that was made in like 1990. So like it's been a while, but it still is like really recent and like relative to,
Relevant?
like, what I don't even know.
Relevant.
Sure, relevant. What did I don't know.
Relative.
It's relevant to what is like happening even today.
Yeah. Okay, so, what our main statement and what a lot of people who are on our side say is that women have the right to choose what they want for their bodies. I mean, we live in America. We're supposed to be free. Am I right? So, we should have the opportunity if we wanted to get an abortion, and it's not that illegal, and it's been practiced by good doctors.
Sorry, you said that illegal. Like it was
Yeah.
just like a little bit, you know.
But there's like a law that says like you can't. That's murder. It's like
Yeah.
the murder of. It can't even.
Helpless.
But the baby's not even out of the womb yet. First
Yeah.
of all,
But it's still.
The baby hasn't.
It still has a
lived.
heartbeat.
It's not.
Okay, keep going with what you're
See,
saying, though.
the thing about this, a patient in a coma or like a severe disability where the family gets to choose to let that life go still has a heartbeat too.
Yeah. But
So
that's
why is that any different than taking something out of your body that you know you can't take care of?
because there's like a point in time where like if someone's like on life support or like something like that where
They've already ended their life. It's like not like having a baby is like a new life, you know.
yeah, that's like a new, they've already like had their lives, and while yes, like a baby still, I get where you're like coming from with that, but like also with like someone being on life support, normally they have like something in place where some like they have a specific person that like chooses whether or not it happens, or like they've told them before, and like especially like with the older people, sometimes they'll have it in like their wills or something, like how or like with their insurance what they want and like who they want to like deal with that. Most of the time it's like their significant or other, like
But
that
I mean,
makes
they
that
are
decision.
related. Like that's what my dad does. He gets to choose. Like he meets with the families, and they get to choose like what they want to do.
Yeah.
In like life or death situations, and it's like the family gets to choose. And I mean, if like you want an abortion, and that's what you choose, and your family agrees, then technically you can do that.
Yeah,
But
just
it's
because
also
like
just like also a different situation too.
and like the family, I don't really know. I get what you're saying though. That's a good point. I see it.
Yeah. I just feel like it's kind of like a hero syndrome. You risk one life to save two or something. It's their life is in your hands. It's your basically person you're forming, the person you're responsible for. So I feel like it should be your choice and nobody else's,
Although
not even the government.
that also brings up the point where like, so we made one of our points is that like responsibility should be taken by like the mother, and that's like a truth. Like if someone, you know, is going out doing these things and they happen to get pregnant, then that is on them, where they should take responsibility, own up to like their actions and like what they did. And if they did that, then they did it. They shouldn't like have to basically kill a baby for like their mistakes, you know? Which I do see where you're coming from, but also there's this like point, it's another point we thought about, is where if someone's like in like a car accident, or there's like a pregnant woman and someone kills her like on purpose, like I know that's bad, but like if someone murders her on purpose, then that person goes to like a prison or whatever for 2 murders, not just one. So like they get counted for the mother and the baby inside, so why would the mother not also get like
Correct.
consequences for that, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. We have a list of our arguments. I think we've talked about all of them.
Gone through all of them.
I think we have one more, and it's obvious. It's basically like the most known one. Adoption's an option. Just saying. Why? Also, I guess this could have kind of went along with my last one that I made. Where if like you should take responsibility for it and whatever, but if you don't want to take off that responsibility, there's always like adoption clinics and like orphanages. yeah, that's a hard word, that will take them and, you know, like, help them. So, like, and that also gives people who aren't, like, able to have children or in other circumstances where they can have babies. So,
I feel
yeah.
like, why would you want to put your child up for adoption and make them suffer more
Well, it's either
than just not having them suffer at all? Why would you put them through more suffering through, like, the foster care system, putting them in an orphanage, putting them with an unknown family that they'll never really get to actually know?
And
But, like,
they will never know their biological parents.
I mean, they could, depending.
It depends on your decision and or the child's.
Yeah, and or the adoption person's, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like, what if you just, like, killed a life who could have, like, cured this really big disease or something? Like, you know, there's always, like, possibilities of, like, what they could have done and, like, all the good things that, like, they could have maybe helped happen. Maybe they do nothing at all and they're just a normal person that doesn't help at all. But there's a possibility that they could always, you know, like, help in some way and,
Yeah.
like, change something.
So every life does matter.
Yeah.
But
It's just, I mean, yeah, there's definitely certain circumstances with, like, incest and rape and, like, where it does become, like, kind of tricky of, like, how people should handle that and how, like, we as a society should, like, say how that should be handled and, like, the government, what kind of laws they put against that. But
there's always going to be an argument no matter if it's legal or
Yeah.
not.
always.
It's just
So-
your opinion, what you believe, and if you believe so strongly and other people believe strongly too, it can be changed. There's always going to be someone opposing you. There's always going to be someone who has facts that prove you otherwise.
That is true. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's abortion, guys.
Yeah. So that's our
Thank
debate
you for listening to us.
Thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah, we don't know
Um,
our words very well.
We'll see you next time.
That's true.
We aren't no
Thank you
words
for-
worth.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.